Leo. Welcome to SIKIKSYD. I'm SIKIKSYD. I'm a professional astrologer, psychic, shaman, medium, seer, mambo, volleyball player, witch. All information before this in the description box down below. If you're interested in the box, the I saw here at SIKIKSYD in the description box down below. Thank you so much for all of your kind comments, likes, subscriptions, readings, gifts, bookings, referrals, and all of the favoriting that you guys have been doing on the SIKIKSYD products. Thank you so much. If you're interested in seeing my social media, go ahead, check it out. Go check it out. And this is for Sun, Moon, Ascendant, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Leo. You could know someone has an astrological chart. You could have Leo on your astrological chart. You just came across this reading and it just resonates for you. And of course, the more that you interact with the reading, the more likely it is to come into fruition for you. And make sure to come back to the reading to see if, these predictions have come into fruition for you. Let's get into your reading, Leo. All right, Leo, let's see what your future is. All right. Okay. All right. So there's a big change happening for you with the number 43. It's a lunar eclipse. The number 7, 5 could be significant to you. Due to relationships, partnerships, there is a big change, okay, that is occurring. So this can be as simple as your relationships, partnerships, connections, friendships, all of these things are changing due to the relationships and partnerships and connections that each individual has on their own separate accord, okay? Meaning we have no control over other people, we have control over ourselves. This can be like recognizing when people are going down different paths in their life, right? And they can't maybe take you with them. This can be like when you know that a friend gets a promotion, right? But you guys have been working at the same level for years and now they have a promotion. So now maybe their entire schedule is different. Maybe they don't have as much time, right? It's saying that you're experiencing some change because of, and it can also be like not just that the person gets promotion, but they make new friends, right? This can be if a friend gets married and their life begins changing. Maybe they don't have as much time for you, or their partner is now the main priority on some level and you aren't number one anymore, okay? Meaning when they're making decisions, they're not running those decisions by family, friends anymore. Now they're running it by their significant other because they are one. Meaning you, right, you're not being in the partnership or experiencing a change in those friendships, relationships, and connections because they are building friendships, relationships, and connections in their own life. So it is about recognizing just how powerful relationships, connections, partnerships can be, and recognizing that instead of meddling in other people's connections, relationships, marriages, right? Get one for yourself. focus on yourself. Because if you don't, you will lose connections and partnerships and relationships. Because the reality is, you cannot judge others when you still have a lot to correct within yourself. And a lot of things that if you are not aware of or don't have the knowledge about, right? If you don't have that knowledge about it, right? It could potentially, most likely be because they didn't want you to have the knowledge about it and it's none of your business. There are changes happening, meaning you don't have control over anybody. The energy you give is exactly what you get. So if you don't like the energy you're receiving, look at the energy that you're giving. It's karma. So you're experiencing big changes and learning some lessons in the process of it, right? Hierophant, the number 5, Taurus energy. There is, for many of you, you're getting married, or you are married, happily married, feeling like you and your significant other really believe in the same things, religiously, spiritually. You guys have the same kind of faith in this marriage. You guys are happy in the marriage with Hierophant. If you are single, then you want a traditional relationship and marriage, okay? And it's also about recognizing if you don't have that, right, create it for yourself and don't live vicariously through others and their marriage and what they have going on. Okay? Create it for yourself. All right? With the Hierophant, it's about having your own faith. It's about having your own belief. All right? Recognizing that everyone has their own belief systems. They have their own sense of faith. And they have their own paths with the 3 of Wands. For many of you, you can own a spiritual business. You could be like a priest, a bishop, a shaman, a spiritual teacher, and it's known worldwide with the Hierophant. You could be watching one of these particular people. With the 3 of Wands, this is taking action on your beliefs, okay? This is also if you are in a relationship or a marriage. Your significant other could be in another state or country, okay? This is about receiving, you've been receiving communication from your significant other, okay? And I feel like you, and this is Sun in Aries, can be Scorpio, Leo energy. You and your significant other have felt like you guys keep falling in love with each other over and over and over again. Someone's also pregnant as well. Congratulations. For many of you, someone's actually pregnant with a boy. For many, or some of you also have sons. Okay. I'm also seeing you loving your job, loving what you do. Okay. But this is also showing that everyone has their own path. Everyone has their own happiness. Everyone has their own path, their own direction. And you have to let them live that path. Just like you have to live your own path. So what you're learning is also healthy boundaries, that you cannot prevent change. You can't control anything. You have control over no one and nothing. Okay. And what you don't see coming is the 2 of Pentacles, which is Capricorn and Jupiter, which can be Capricorn, Aquarius, Sagittarius, Pisces, Ophiuchus energy. So you could be taking money from one bank company, decide to go to a different bank company. You could be juggling different obligations and responsibilities. Okay. What you don't see is that I feel like these are obligations and responsibilities that you enjoy carrying. But it's about recognizing you're responsible for yourself and no one else, okay? And I think it's also about recognizing it's actually toxic to take on so many responsibilities and obligations and to try to control other people in the way that they live and what they do and where they go and how they do it. That's toxic. And it's not your business. Quite frankly, it's not your business how people decide to go about their relationships and their connections. It's, yeah, I feel like if you were to look at yourself, if you're single, I think you would look at yourself and recognize if you're a feminine energy that you have a lot of commitment issues you need to look at within yourself, that you're still learning yourself, you're still learning the world, that a lot of the commitments that you pursue, they end up starting emotional, and then they don't ground themselves into the physical reality and become permanent, or they start off physical, then they just become emotional, and you're not necessarily satisfied with that. If you're a masculine energy and you're single, you'd be recognizing that there is a lack of emotional availability. And I think if you would drop a lot of the obligations and responsibilities that you're carrying that really aren't yours to carry, but I think you just enjoy carrying it because you don't want to focus and look at yourself, I feel like if you would drop those, you would actually recognize where you need to improve within yourself and where you may not be seeing people clearly, simply because you want to keep control. You don't want things to change, essentially. Your advice is the Four of Wands, Venus in Aries, can be Scorpio. Your advice is to realize that someone could be throwing an event or a get together. Okay, this is the celebration typically for a married couple. Okay, the Four of Wands. It's about recognizing there's a lot to celebrate. There's a lot to be happy for. There's a lot to be proud of. And that if you can't let people go and let them change and let them grow into who they're meant to be, because maybe it doesn't involve you as much in their life. It's about recognizing you may not be able to go to certain events or be a part of very special moments with these people, right? It's about saying celebrate. For many of you, if you want to meet someone and you're single, you should go to events, okay, that are currently happening for you. Make sure you get out the house, all right? For many of you, you could be buying a new home. Many of you are actually moving in with your significant other, okay? And if you're like my husband and I, you could definitely be going to a different country. Buying your home in a different country, because he and I will not be living in Nigeria. Our home will not, we won't be living or visiting Nigeria. We won't be visiting Nigeria often. We'll probably visit Nigeria like once a year, maybe, if that. And we're not living there. So we're deciding to live in a different country. So for some of you guys, you could be deciding, like, I'm just going to move to a different country. Or your significant other could be moving to a different country with you, right? Like maybe you're in a different country and they're moving to your country, right? And for many of you, you're moving in with your significant other, you're buying a home. Congratulations, you're getting married, you're celebrating. For some of you, it is saying celebrate, okay? Celebrate. It's really like a need for you to focus on the relation. You need to like love your identity, love who you are, love how far you've come. Figure out what it is that you believe in, okay, within yourself. What type of marriage and relationship or connection do you want? and really lock in on yourself. Okay. So your advice is closer than you think, faith, keep going, and surprise. Okay, so this is also about enjoying the now. Okay. It's often the times we are ready to give up and lose hope that what we are seeking is right around the corner. We can only endure pain or disappointment for so long until our heart gets filled with doubt. The times we feel though the times we feel the heaviest, like we can't take anymore, are often just times of emotional purging and are followed by a period of healing, grace, peace, positive change, rewards, and feeling lighter. What is it you are passionately seeking? Rather be inner or outer wealth. This is a sign to not lose hope and keep moving forward in the direction of your dreams. That which you have been seeking is closer than you think. Okay, so it is about recognizing with the heart on the moon. This is talking about vulnerability, and recognizing, are you avoiding looking at yourself and who you are, and you're so focused on other people and what they have going on simply because you're scared of loving yourself and looking at yourself? Which is quite interesting because you rule the heart. What, do you think you're not lovable or not worth loving? The love you seek is within you. Therefore, it's closer than you think. You don't have to seek it from others. It's within you. Okay? You have Coyote, Trickster, Adapt, and Medicine. So Coyote Medicine shows us that many things are not as they seem. Coyote is a benevolent trickster teaching us powerful life lessons by challenging our intuition and ability to adapt to unforeseen changes. And if there's anything that you don't know or that you're not aware of, it's because it's none of your business and you're not meant to know it. Simple. Basically. Coyote fools us so we don't get fooled again. Has someone taken advantage of your kindness? Conjure of your money, love, or time with their facade. Now you will be able to smell a trickster from a mile away. Coyote teaches us to read energy, not words, so we are no longer fooled by opportunistic, shady intentions. Coyote is a natural opportunist, quickly adapting to changes and going from surviving to thriving always. This is also about recognizing, have you tried to take advantage of someone's kindness? Have you tried to control someone to do what you want them to do because you're not capable of doing it? Have you, taken advantage of someone's money or time or energy or their love? Okay. Have you put up a particular facade because you wanted to get a particular result out of somebody? And if that's the case, how did that work out for you? Because if you did it, then they figured out your intentions and they most likely pushed you away, could have blocked you, removed you. They're like, I don't want to deal with you. I want nothing to do with you. It can also be you've done this to someone. You're like, oh, you're shady, you're weird. I don't like that energy. You got to go. I'm from LA. So if I'm calling someone weird, it's an insult. It's not a good thing. It's a very, 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 very bad thing. If someone's weird, it's a bad thing. Okay, because it doesn't mean what people think it means. It's like a really bad insult. Oh my God. With its quick wits and resourcefulness, Coyote is always able to change the negative into a positive. Have you recently been hit with a sudden change that seems negative? Call to your inner Coyote so he can aid you in making the best of a bad situation. If you are so used to controlling people or maybe even being controlled to try to, being a puppet to try to control other people, if you're so used to that, it's about you recognizing you're no longer able to do that because those people you were trying to control are not thinking for themselves. You don't get to control how they deal with the pain that you may have caused. You also don't get to control who they become now that you can no longer control them. Okay? and vice versa. No one can control who you are now that you can no longer be controlled, essentially. Call to your inner coyote so he can aid you in making the best of a bad situation. You have gone through many changes in life, and each time you adapted and transformed into something even greater than before. Though your environment may seem harsh with the sharp intellect, wits, and resourcefulness of Coyote, you will learn how your new surroundings work quickly and go from surviving to thriving in no time. So this is about not allowing your ego, because you do rule the ego. Don't allow your ego to use other people in order for you to get what you want, and don't allow your big heart and your wanting for love to not realize that it's within you, and allow yourself to be used, essentially. Don't allow yourself to be used or taken advantage of. You're not an ATM, okay? You're not just a good time. You are someone who is deserving of good, deserving of the things of positivity, of the things that they're trying to manifest in their life. But it's also about being aware of what good are you doing and what bad are you doing, and correct yourself. Be accountable, be responsible, be mature. This has been your reading, Leo. Thank you so much for supporting SIKIKSYD. If you're interested in the process, so in the description box down below. Amen and Ashe.